Thanks for joining us. I'm Sam Shocker. A man convicted and sent to prison for shaking a baby to death is now a free man thanks to a fresh investigation. A judge made it official in court this morning. Stephen Martinez was serving life without parole for the death of 4-month-old Heather Martinez. In October of 1998, police were called to the home Martinez shared with the baby's mother. He reported she was choking. He later admitted to police that he shook the child. What was then known as shaken baby syndrome has been questioned in recent years because things besides shaking an infant can cause the same kinds of injuries. And the Corey Wise Innocence Project found 7 experts who concluded the baby, in his case, died of lung disease, not from being shaken. Family members of the baby said today they disagree with the ruling.
To find out now that they're saying, oh, never mind that, the baby had pneumonia. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And it's just kind of convenient that it's now 27-ish years later, and a lot of the country is, after 25 years, they're saying, oh, you've done life, 25 years, you're good. You can go out the door. So it just seems kind of convenient.
We're still waiting to hear if Martinez will be released today or if he'll have to wait a bit longer. The Adams County Sheriff's Office says deputies shot a man overnight, sending him to the hospital with injuries. They say the deputies responded to a stabbing report just after 1 a.m. near 70th and Dexter. Authorities report a man came out of a home on Dexter holding a gun, but say after he ignored commands, 2 deputies fired at him. He was hit and sent to the hospital, but there's no word on the seriousness of his injuries. A handgun was found at the scene. The deputies who fired the shots are on leave while the incidents are being investigated. Family members of the man accused in last year's anti-Semitic firebombing attack in Boulder have been in immigration custody since the tragedy, but they could soon be released. Mohammed Saliman's wife and 5 children have been held for the last 10 months, even though none of them face any accusations connected to the attack that killed 1 woman and injured more than a dozen others. But the Trump administration targeted them for immigration violations afterward. Yesterday, a judge recommended their immediate release, citing their prolonged detention. A federal district court will take up that recommendation on Thursday. The suspect is still in federal custody and has pleaded not guilty to both the state and federal charges he faces. His first trial is scheduled to begin in June. Well, we've been telling you there will be strong winds and low humidity tomorrow that may have Xcel once again shutting off power. So this is a new map showing the zones that might be impacted if the utility does shut off the power. It may be hard to see, but those zones are in western and southern Colorado. So let's get the latest on that windy forecast from our senior meteorologist, Chris Bianchi. What are we looking at, Chris?
Yeah, we do have that higher fire danger for tomorrow. Specifically, we've actually just called a weather impact alert for tomorrow afternoon because of that, those stronger winds and that high fire danger. I don't have to tell you how dry it's been, and also just how gusty, when we get these gusty winds this time of year, how concerning that can be. Burlington, you're under a fire weather warning for tomorrow here in Kit Carson County. Things calm right now. In Denver, we've already reached 80 degrees here at the 9 News backyard. The good news, at least today specifically, is winds are light. It's tomorrow that those winds pick up. But for now, a lot of 80s, Eastern Plains, even a few spots getting close to 90 degrees on the Eastern Plains, 60s and 70s in the mountains. So pretty warm day already. And that 3-day forecast, we've got those temperatures that are already near, that'll be in the 80s for tomorrow as well. For the next 12 hours, those clouds will increase a little bit, but those winds will pick up. And that leads to our fire weather warning. And this is a big one here, folks. Notice how much of the state is covered within this red shaded zone. This is for tomorrow. Northwest corner. Most areas along and east of the Continental Divide are underneath that red flag warning. So about 65, maybe 70% of the state underneath this fire weather warning. And that's going to be for winds up to 60 miles an hour in southern Colorado, 45 miles an hour in the northeastern part of the state. So we're going to get into details on why tomorrow is such a concerning fire weather day, and also when we get some needed relief, and we've got perhaps a fair bit of it on the way. I'll tell you about that in a few minutes.
All right, Chris, thank you. There are about 50 acres burned in Lamar County today. A wildfire sparked yesterday afternoon east of Wellington, which is north of Fort Collins. Evacuation orders were issued, but were lifted about an hour later. Thankfully, no one was hurt, and the cause is under investigation. The search for a hunter who's been missing for nearly a week is ongoing, but the Chaffee County Sheriff's Office will not have as many volunteers out there helping. Authorities say the intense search in the backcountry around Mount Shavano is putting too much strain on their bodies. Caden Seitz of Salida has not been seen since last Wednesday, when he went out for a short hunt but did not make it to an appointment that afternoon. The Sheriff's Office is using whatever tools they can, drones, dogs, heat sensors, even AI, to generate a photo of what he may have been wearing.
A pack on his chest that was his binoculars, that is his exact pack that was put into that picture. That's what he would have been wearing. The pants are accurate, the hat, the glasses, all that's accurate. The sweater's really the only thing right now that we're guessing on.
A CU Denver professor says more law enforcement is turning to computer-generated images because they can make a picture of what a person could have been wearing at the time, and it is easier to update when there are new details. PNC Bank now owns First Bank, spending $4 billion to buy the local company, but now First Bank employees are being let go. A filing with the state shows 777 employees of the former First Bank headquarters on West Colfax and Lakewood will lose their jobs. PNC told our reporting partners at the Denver Business Journal the layoffs will begin at the end of June, but the building in Lakewood will remain open. And then over at Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, they are planning to cut nearly 8,000 jobs, according to sources. That's about a tenth of the company's workforce. And if you didn't know, Meta has employees right here in Denver, but we don't know where the cuts will happen. However, we do know they will start next month, and they're due to investments into AI.